Hey everyone, Eric here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am working on the installation of my Espar D2 heater. I'm working underneath, putting in a fuel tap on the fuel tank, so I need to drop the fuel tank. I need to open up the top, connect the line to the sending unit, and get the tank back up. Well, I'm working on several different videos here all at the same time. It's a good time to mention, if you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below there. Ring that bell for notifications for when new videos come out. Mine have been a little random. Also, like the video. Hope you find something useful in this. If you're not building a van or putting in a heater, hopefully you just find it entertaining to watch. Thanks for joining. Let's get on with it. So I need to undo the spout from the side here. There's several different torque screws to go and undo. Save the screws where I can find them again. I take off this door as well. May as well, since I'm here. Take the door off. Shroud off. There's another one in here. That's a different screw. So the spout is loose now. There's a ground wire that comes up. That's on this clip though. That's not screwed in separately. Don't think that's mounted to anything else. So underneath here, front of the tank, we got a wire harness. We got two fuel lines. We'll have to two fuel lines here, and I'm blocking one camera with the other. We'll disconnect these two fuel lines here and this wire harness. I'm just trying to make sure I got video footage of all this. Push. Is it? Yeah, how's this come apart? Oh, just like that. So I depressed this and it's moving inside. Moving inside here. That released a little bit of a hold it had on this bump. So that's a wire harness off. So let's see if I can get these here plastic clips. I squeeze that end together and pop that up.
That's up all the way. That comes off. So the plastic clips on the fuel lines, the open end of them on this side, they just squeeze together and then you push it out. And same as that one. So they should be loose now. 2 fuel lines disconnected. And the wiring harness disconnected. And there was next to no fuel that came out of that. There was a little tiny bit. Okay, that's loosened. Hopefully you can see these nuts, bolts there, not nuts. Okay, that's loosened. I can see giving a little bit there. Okay, so I took off 4 nuts on the shield for the fuel pipe, and then there's this foam insert that goes in here that sort of blocks this hole where it goes in. I just pulled in the sides, it pops out. I'll leave that on the spout. The grounding wire, I just popped that out of the hole there, so that's loose. So the fuel tank ready to come down. I should see if I got something to put under it to support. Okay, so I got milk crate underneath the back end here. A little bit of a gap, but if that starts to drop, it's not dropping far. And then I got a jack on this side, in the front. Oh, I'll lower that. I'll undo this front bolt here, and then I'll look at the back one and then lower the middle. See how that goes. So that's off. Tank's not going anywhere yet, really. Or the inside bolt of the back hanger is out already, so this hanger is completely loose now. Just want to get this on here. I'll get out before I start lowering. Okay, that bolt is out. That's it. Disconnected. Oh, it's just a matter of lowering this down now to access the top. Tank doesn't feel that heavy at all. Crawl under here. We'll do some kind of roll, pitch and roll. That's quite light. So, that's an extra hose. For what? What does that do? I don't know what this does. Just let air in the top of the tank or what? What? note to self, that needs to be connected back up at the end. So here's the back of the tank. We'll look at the top. Are you recording still? Make sure you're getting all this. Yep. Oh, the light's not the best in here. But, so the top of the tank. There's the opening, sending unit and stuff. Let's put you back on my head. Oh, so we'll get up here. We'll lift up the front and take the jack out. We say the tank isn't. I've been running really, probably dangerously close to empty lately, so as to minimize the weight in this. But you can see that's just one arm I'm holding it up with. So here's a fuel spout. Let's just take this. On top of the tank. Trying to turn this off, it was seized quite badly. I tried putting the screwdriver on here and hammering it, broke off several of the tabs. I had a strap wrench somewhere, and I don't know where it is. So I tried this. It's rubbery. Try and get vice grips on there to go and do it. This was stretching a little too much. Wasn't really getting a grip, or it wasn't moving. It might have worked maybe eventually if it was loosening up. So that wasn't doing it. So instead of having the sharp tip of the screwdriver on there, I was trying the pliers. Trying the pliers on there and hammering it. I hammered around a little bit, didn't seem to budge much. I went out and I bought another strap wrench, and I had that on here. I was giving a pretty good pull on it. Don't think it was really moving. Broke the handle off it. So I'm like, what else do I have? Clamp. I went and had the clamp on one side, tighten it on there, and sure enough, just putting a little bit of pressure on it. Just putting a little bit of pressure on it, and eventually started to turn. So, you know, you might not have a bunch of fancy tools, but if you happen to have an old clamp sitting around, that might be the best bet. It would be nice if some of these were a little more durable. If it was a big block, say this size, that stuck out, where you could really get something to lock in on both sides of it, or up against one side, one here and one on the other side, that would work really great, instead of having these pieces that you can see this one's broken off. There's a few of them that are broken off, but now that I have it loosened, I should be able to, oh, it's still awfully tight. We can pull that off and then do what we need to with that and put it back together, and hopefully I can get it somewhat tight enough without too much trouble afterwards. So that's the one. This clamp works as a nice wrench. At least, you know, it gets around this thing, and there's enough leverage on it. So maybe a big part of why that's so tight is just the spring pressure that's on that. So let's take this gasket off and put it in the ring. That's on the bottom. I don't know what it is that I need to angle out of this hole. Oh, here we go. Just pour that fuel in the tank. So I can work with this. We got the sending unit. We got some quarter inch fuel line. So I'm just going to attach to the nipple here, the hose clamp. Going to go down inside the sending unit here. So we'll have, you know, a piece length of hose. I'm just going to compress this down, try and get an idea on how far down the bottom is. And I'm going to cut it just a little bit above that. We don't need the hose right down to the bottom. We don't want to suck every last little bit of fuel out of there. So I'm going to put that there. It's going to go in there. Just tighten this hose clamp on here. Actually, before I do that, well, that's on there. I'm going to take the hose out of there for a second before it's on too tight and drill out this hole. So I need to find a drill bit to fit there. So a 5/32 drill bit. From what I understand, there's just, you know, at most that amount of plastic that's there blocking this hole. So I could possibly just, can I even just turn it with my hand? Just don't want to push in here and then end up going too far. So let's back that off just a little bit. Okay. Just gonna there, a couple pieces of plastic. Not much. Didn't go through anywheres. I'll blow on this. It's coming through there now. So this is going to, there's no plastic in that. Just make sure. So that. I lubricate. Let me stick it in some diesel. There. A little slippery on the inside, slippery on the outside too. Okay, that's squeezed on there. Run up this hose clamp a bit, or get it squeezed over that ridge. Get it tightened down. This isn't a pressure line, so you don't really have to worry about it blowing off or blowing out a leak. It's the vacuum on this. And the heater's not drawing a whole lot of fuel. It's pretty minimal, so that's on there good and tight. So this will come off the side of the tank. The Espar heater lines I can put inside here, clamp down on it, and go to the pump for the heater, and then it'll carry on from there to the heater itself. But this can go back. I should have just I could have just fed it over the rubber hose and over the top. Don't let it fall into the tank. So maybe put the ring on after it's in there. This has to go on over top of it anyways. So, it didn't look like it was on straight before, but it looks like as it's pulling down, it's straightening up. So, that looks like it's on. So, cap's on. Reconnected the fuel lines. Just push these on. Push the clip closed. Connected the wire harness. So it's these three pieces that come out of the front of the tank that we connected at the very beginning, or disconnected at the beginning. So units back in. We take the tank, rotate it back around. Feels heavier now than it did at the start. Must be all that tubing I added. Some risers. All kinds of rocks underneath my strap. rolling around on the ground like this is not something my body's meant for. Actually, we'll get the middle one done here because it seems to be real close. We'll put a thread locker on this. And get that up into place. So that's not sitting on there anymore. That's not sitting on there anymore. Yeah, a bolt. I'll put a little thread locker on it. And put that up into place. That's tight. And tight. Whew. This piece back up in here. It's just a piece of foam stuck in this hole. Clips ground wire. That's there. Here we got. I'll put the electrical to it until. So we got. One fuel line. Oop. Didn't mean to spill out fuel. There. Clips. And now I just need to do
the electrical connection. And that's back together. So that is the fuel tank dropped, tapped into, and put back into place. So I got this cover for your protection. So just put the one black screw back in that was there. Put this cover plate. This is just a plastic cover plate, so I don't know why being held in by these rather large screws. And just get these started here. Okay, there's only the one screw that holds the actual filler neck in place. And these 4 crazy screws to hold this plastic in. And that. There. 2 screws in place. I can cap that back up. And this. Well, that's everything put back together as far as the fuel tank goes and the filler spout. Getting past supper time now, so I'm gonna get something to eat. Then it's gonna be kind of dark out. It's supposed to be a nice day again tomorrow, so I plan on pulling the seats, getting the swivels in, but getting my heater underneath the passenger seat, and getting the tubing put in underneath the pump, the exhaust pipe, get that all mounted in place, and get the power to the dosing pump as well. So hopefully that'll be all easier than trying to get that cap off the fuel tank. So that's it for today's episode. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to follow along with the setup of the other mechanicals and the actual installation of the heater. Might not be as unique as what I did in today's episode, but hit that subscribe, ring the bell for notifications if you haven't. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next episode. Night.